In this video I want to share a little thought about beach volleyball and the development of beach volleyball in the bigger picture. That I got this thought about half a year ago and it hit me quite hard. And I sort of call it the beach volleyball mindfuck. And obviously this is not one of those how-to videos, how to play beach volleyball. But I wouldn't make this video if I didn't actually believe that it could help you with your beach volleyball career. So if you sort of enjoy big picture thinking and thinking outside of the box kind of solutions every now and then, this might be for you. So the question that hit me was, what if no one out there in the whole world actually knows how beach volleyball should be played, to be perfectly played? What if nobody out there actually knows exactly how beach volleyball should be taught for it to be picked up as easily as possible? What if there's actually no single person out there that has the answers to these sort of fundamental questions that we are all as beach volleyball players trying to solve? So this thought actually emerged from a conversation I had with about a half year ago. I was lucky enough to meet the head coach for the Norwegian national team, and he used to play on the world tour back in the days. And I asked him what he thinks about the level of play now versus then. And he basically said what you might expect to hear, that the level is higher now. It has developed in the last 20 years or so. It is much higher now. Like, people that might be national level now might have been international level back then. So after a few days after that, I talked with a friend of mine, and I sort of mentioned this theory, this like mindfuck that I had, because I had always used to think that, you know, someone out there knows how perfect beach volleyball is played. But I told about this like thought to a friend of mine who is more into soccer than I am, and he said that still, in the highest level of soccer, people don't agree how soccer should be played. The top teams actually have different strategies in their game. And he also said that soccer has been around for way longer than beach volleyball. So I haven't checked up how much longer soccer has been around, but I think it's very easy to understand that soccer has been around for longer than beach volleyball, and there has been a lot more resources going into research and thinking about soccer than beach volleyball. So when I heard that, I realized that, shit, beach volleyball is probably like a baby still. Like, it's so far from fully developed that it might even be hard for us to imagine what beach volleyball will be like in the future. At the same time, at least I used to like have a lot of respect to everybody that said anything about beach volleyball that I sort of trusted more than myself. Whether it's a pro player or some coach or whatever, I would always listen to those people and take their word as the absolute truth. What I didn't realize at the time was that if beach volleyball is so far from fully developed, if there is probably no one in the world that knows exactly how it should be played, and people disagree on stuff, well, how am I gonna actually be able to trust this person that is telling me something? Whether it's a pro player or a highly known coach or whatever it might be. So this realization that I had could actually be sort of interpreted as a negative thing. Sort of as a, well, shit, how am I gonna learn something if nobody even knows how to teach me? And how can I ever trust someone if I can't trust anyone? And it's not that bad. It's actually, you can trust a lot of theories and stuff that people have and share. And obviously people are at different levels of playing and coaching the game. So of course, as long as you're listening to someone's at higher level than you, most probably it's going to be good advice, right? But the key point here is that it also opens up a sea of possibilities. It actually opens up the possibility that you or I could come up with something that nobody else has come up with ever before. And it sounds, I think we as humans, we are not so used to thinking that we would come up with something that nobody has ever come up with. Like, there's so many people in the world, so many people doing different stuff. There's gotta be someone better than us. But if we get the right combination of the right insights and the inputs, well, shit, we might find ourselves, it's actually possible that we find ourselves in a position where no one has ever been before. And this is the mindfuck that I want you to sort of get. Like, this is actually a possibility. There's no natural law out there saying that you cannot come up with something beach volleyball related that is better than any of the World Tour players today have come up with. Like, there's no rule saying that that's not possible. It might not be easy, but it's not impossible. One example, a personal example, is I started coaching when I had played for 2 years. I had played this sport for 2 years and I started coaching. And it was very much of it was kind of a bold move. Like, I had read some books, I had done a singing course by a very famous coach, singing coach, and I really liked his teaching techniques, and I had read some other books, sports psychology books, and I sort of got this idea that, hey, this is maybe more like how this sport should be taught. So I basically just posted in a Facebook group like, hey guys, I have these theories, like I would really want to coach this fall, or whatever it was. Is there someone that would sign up for it? And actually there were people that were interested, which is not common to do that with someone who has only played the sport for 2 years. But I didn't listen to those people that would be negative. I just went for it. And you know what? In the end of that semester, I got feedback when I asked, and these people, some of them told me that I had taught them stuff that they hadn't learned in years by being coached by the pro players. I hope you understand how insane that is. They had been coached by years by pros, but I, as a 2-year-old player, could share stuff with them in a few months that nobody else had taught them before. So what's some takeaways from this? Well, the takeaway was not to sort of just make this video to talk about myself. The takeaway for you is that I believe that for your volleyball career's sake, you might need to be a little bit more critical to all advice you get. There's a lot of pro players out there that say, hey, I'm this pro, I did this and this and this, listen to me, this is how it works. Well, I've seen videos like that where these same pro players, they say something and then they show the example and they actually do the opposite of what they just told you to do. Like, this is sort of just a fact of beach volleyball. We're still a young sport, we're like 100 years old or something, around that. There's not so much money in beach volleyball. There hasn't been so much research. You know, we're all just guessing out here. So, obviously listen to anyone and everybody that gives you advice. Experiment with it. See if it works, see if it doesn't. But always be open-minded for new possibilities. Always be open-minded for that there might be methods of achieving the end result that you haven't even thought of, you haven't heard of, that might be working way better than what you are doing today. At least this for me was a very critical insight, because back in the days I used to trust people too much. I would listen to them too literally, and I would just get stuck in this like, okay, because this person said this, it has to be like that. But it doesn't have to, because nobody actually knows how to play our sport. Alright, thanks, that was it. I hope I didn't make this video too long by blathering on these things. Like the channel, watch some more videos or whatever. Join my Facebook group if you feel like that. And probably we'll do some more practical videos in the future. Alright, see ya.